probably one. I still have my original Switch, and then our Hyrule Switch, and then the Animal Crossing Switch that's half working. So my goal, what I'm thinking is we'll trade in 2 of the Switches, and then hopefully I can maybe get a new one. So we'll have the OG. I'm keeping the OG Switch because it works. What am I saying? Oh, and then the Hyrule Switch. I like it. I got it for my, look, I'm not as big as Zelda. Look, this is where I'm not maybe everything, bless you. Everything maybe worked out best because like, I'm really, like all the people who have congregated on YouTube to be professional gamers. I'm like, maybe I don't fit in because, they're always like Zelda or they're like Mario. I'm like, what games do I remember? First of all, I think maybe I was just a closet PC guy. I didn't realize my PlayStation was a PC. So I really love my PlayStation. Spent a lot of time playing Resident Evil, Splinter Cell. That's my type of game, where you slowly, like, you're like moving behind walls. And no, I love Doom too. I remember Doom 64. If I'm gonna say, look, what was my best favorite Nintendo game? Doom 64. No, I played Mario. I thought Mario was cool. Zelda was okay. Look, now whenever I get online, I'm like, look, I'm so excited to be just just here. Like, look, I just always thought this would be a dream, like a sweet dream. I think it's still really cool, like play video games with somebody that actually watches and cares. No, and just in the sense like that they want to hang out. I think that would be cool. So like, I'm trying to talk about things I think are cool. When's the Doom Portal coming out? Sony, I want a Doom Portal. Look, if Asus, this is what I say, if Asus can do, I know they're like, why aren't you just gonna, like, why'd you keep playing? Like, you just play the game. Okay, sorry. Like, this is why you can't, this is why you play, you're like 20 hours into the game, and you're only like 1% of the way done. I'm like, I'm sorry, sir. Didn't know that you guys cared about me that much. No, I'm just, no, I do. I'm grateful. Okay, so here we go. What did I do? Hold on. Oh, there we go. I'm like, look, I can figure it out, guys. I'm like, okay, well. No, so I want to see it. Look, the Portal. When is a Doom PlayStation controller? I understand that, I get it that Doom is on Game Pass and you can play it, but I'm willing to rent. I would have been willing to buy the PlayStation 5 version just to play it. I'm like, look, it's that big of a game to me. It's that big of a franchise, and I get it. Like, the time, like, look, I'm still in my infancy in gaming. People are like, look, I still don't own. I never got a hold of a PS2, so I still want to get a PS2. And maybe I'm illiterate. I don't know. Is that HDMI? I want an HDMI PS2, and then a PS3. That's for sure. I'm still like absolutely getting a hold of a PS3. So all I'm saying is, look, I get it when you're in the industry, like you have had access to everything, but I think those people don't realize that, like, regular people, like, especially if like I want to get into it, I'm like, look, I would probably really, I would trade my Switches and get like a PS3, that's where I'm at. And then come back to the Switch with the PS2 or Switch 2, excuse me. Like, I'm not that like, look, I love Nintendo. I think they make great games, but when I think of games that really captivated me, baby. Hey, baby. Hey, boo-boo. No, it's I would say Commandos 2, and then first and foremost, Enemy Territory. Free game. I played that religiously in college. No, I played a lot of games in college, but Commandos 2. Shout out to Commandos 2. Shout out to is it id? I forget who made that, but like, look, that was like, because before that you didn't have classes, you just had shooters that were just, you shoot each other. I think that was like one of the first games where you had classes. You had engineer, lieutenant. No, I'm just saying, like, medic. You had all these classes, and each person needed to excel at their profession in order to win it, in my opinion, so you could have one of each, or however you wanted to do it. But I thought that was a great game. A free game too, equivalent, I think, to Fortnite nowadays. I know you didn't get that big of a Maps, you didn't have that many people. Like I remember, what would be a max? Maybe 30 on the side. But look, I just love the game, and I'm hoping for that to come to Xbox. I'm like, that needs to come to Xbox, dogs. Oh gosh, look, I'm like, look. Okay, why can't he play the game? Oh. Okay, sorry. I want to actually show you I'm playing. They're like, this guy's not a real gamer. Okay, look, I want to be a real gamer, guys. I do. I love games. It's just, look, I gotta invest the time. It's like everything else, right? I wanted to be a professional shooter. I think the two will mesh eventually. Competitive shooting and competitive esports. I think like there's going to be a blending of the two worlds, E and non-E, non-electronic and electronic, and then that's where I think it's going to be awesome. Holding a equivalent of a virtual firearm and competing with people in a way that doesn't necessarily bring about as much danger if something were to go wrong. Okay, so my son is asking me for something there. I'm at 10 minutes left. I'm like, look. They're like, look, well, this is all I got. I'm like, look, now I got to do stuff. So I had 10 minutes to play with you guys, hang out. Now I got to get back to work. So I love being a stay-at-home dad. That's my favorite job. Yeah, and we're all getting back to work. We're learning stuff. My dream, look, if someone said, why homeschool? My dream was like, look, by the time when my sons are 18, I want them to be like, look, now I can do whatever it is I wanted to do, pursue my passions, and not have to worry about like the financial strains of like being just in a society where you're like, wow, I have all this debt and everything. No, I think we should strive to put someone in a position once they turn the age to be an adult, be prepared and ready to actually just be an adult, not like have to like somehow get out of this metaphorical burial of slavery that we call just consuming things and wanting and just having. I'm just messing around. Look, I love having and consuming things, but look, and on that note, look, I got passion. I still need to see Passion of the Christ. Shout out to anyone who watches that. No, I gotta go. Okay, so my hopes and dreams and wishes: a PlayStation Doom controller, maybe to be somehow in the circle, not the circle, but the within. I know I'm trying to get past the gate, the metaphorical gatekeeping. But if I could have a place somewhere. Look, even Lenovo, I love you guys. IBM, I loved IBM ThinkPads. What if there was a Doom ThinkPad, guys? You underestimate how much nerdy. Back when I was a kid, nobody thought it was cool. It looked like, I guess now it's cool, I guess, to be a nerd. I don't know. Like, I'm still figuring things out. I'm not a savvy guy. I'm not a knowledgeable guy. So shout out to Review Tech USA. I meshed and clicked with that gentleman a lot. I was like, where did he go? He just deleted his channel. Is that like, are you trying to tell me something? I hope not. I hope he's not like, hey. I just want to give people a hug, guys. Look, I'm not trying to be like, hey, I want to be friendly too, okay? Just because I like to think about things doesn't mean I don't want to just not think about things and play video games. I like talking about video games too. Look, I just threw up on you. That's why I have a YouTube channel, so I can just like babble and I don't have to bother anyone. Imagine if you had to sit next to me and listen to me. I'd be like, gosh, I'm glad. Just go on my YouTube channel and just regurgitate all this and be like, blah, I love you. I enjoy hanging out with you. Okay, no, I gotta go. But thank you guys. No, I'm gonna do this for real. I'm just like showing you the portal way. The portal way. What else is there? No, we want you to keep going. Oh, okay. Hold on. No, I love video games. Okay, so no, but here, this is what I don't understand. Okay, so if Asus, I say Asus, I know it's Asus. If you're gonna make a graphics card, a $2,000 Doom graphics card, which I think is lit, by the way, lit. You can't do a freaking ROG Ally Doom version. You don't think that's gonna sell? Come on now. Who do you have? Do you have idea people? Asus. Do you have people that are like, hey, what would sell? Because there's a lot of people out there that like specialty stuff, and usually those are the people with a lot of money. Look, I say shout out to Colin Noir. I'm sure he would buy a Doom Xbox, a Doom Portal, or anything I'm saying. Look, I'm trying to play a Rogue Ally. Who else? Let me think of another person. I just on the spot. Look, if you made a New York Knicks portal, I'm sure you could get RGT85 to buy or look, a Xbox controller if it was like a New York Knicks one. I'm sure he would buy it. I'm saying like, look, there's people out there with money that are ready to spend it. I'm just saying like, what if the creativity went to the top? I don't know. I'm just messing around. Please, all my ideas are just me being silly. I'm sorry to anyone who took anything that I've ever said seriously. You should. If it touches you, I say I hope, and I'm happy that I was able to connect with you at any level. And if you're upset, I say, look, I would say, what is it inside of you that made you upset? The same way with me. I say, if someone says something to me, what is it? As somebody who I see a future for myself here on planet Earth. And I would like to continue to grow as a human being and say, look, if someone says something to me and I get upset, well, what is it? What is it about what they said that it's upsetting to me? I need to look inside myself, and that's what I try to do. So thank you to anyone out there who's listened to anything I said. I'm grateful for that. And if I affected you in any way, I'm grateful for that as well. My intention and purpose was just to spark a creative thought. I'm also journeying on this venture of trying to become a more productive, positive, helpful human being. So thank you. I love you.